Alexander has led the nation in scoring. Any team that gets in the Bulldogs' way will get shot down. But here's the gunslinger ready to call Courtney out. Senior standout Eric Coley has kept Tulsa in the top 20 most of the season. Tonight, the two best teams in the WAC get it on for the title. We've got it for you on Fox Sports Net.
Selland Arena in Fresno, California. It's not just the hottest ticket in town, it's the hottest ticket in all of Central California, and they're coming in droves for one reason and one reason only. It's the championship game of the Western Athletic Conference postseason tournament, and tonight it's the Fresno State Bulldogs looking for their 24th win against the Golden Hurricane of Tulsa. If you like your college hoops loud, you're gonna love it tonight. The atmosphere second to none here at Selland Arena in Fresno, California. Hello everyone, I'm Kevin Eschenfelder. Great to have you along for the ride. You're absolutely gonna love this one tonight because, well, it's Tulsa and Fresno State. Fresno State trying to do something that is so difficult to do. Not only beat a team 3 times in a season, but beat a good team 3 times in a season. If they're gonna win it, they're gonna have to do that tonight. You take a look at the brackets and how these two teams get here. Tulsa, the #1 seed, winning over Rice easily. Then they knock off the 4th seed TCU. Wasn't quite as easy for Fresno State. They get by UTEP, but then double overtime to knock off Hawaii. All right, now time for us to head over to the guys who will be calling this one, Ted Robinson and Dan Belwamini. Guys?
Well, Kevin, now you know why basketball's so big here in Fresno, because Dan Belwamini gives guys nicknames like he did at the beginning. And you almost got trampled last night.
Yeah, I almost got trampled. What an ending last night. Unbelievable.
Well, Fresno State thinks that they got themselves into the field of 64 last night. Tulsa feels, of course, they're in with 29 wins. But, of course, a win tonight, the winner of this game tonight with no automatic bid, though, leaves a real imprint with the tournament committee.
Well, they really do, Ted. Whoever wins this game is going to say, you know what, we are solidified into the tournament. Look for a high seed. I think it's a seed game tonight. I think both clubs are in, and Fresno State, as Kevin said, trying to beat Tulsa 3 times. 29 wins for Tulsa, a terrific team. Not many people in the country realize how good they are.
Great player, Courtney Alexander. He's been bothered by a fever and a flu the first 2 games of this tournament.
But he has played well. He came back last night, had a big game, and Alexander leads the country in scoring. And what you love about him, he can get his shot any time he wants. Definitely the go-to player for Fresno State.
Tulsa's a defensive team. They don't have a scorer like Courtney Alexander. In fact, their best scorer is their 6th man.
And he is a terrific player, David Shelton. Now, here's a guy, comes off the bench, leads him in scoring, a power rebounder inside, had 18 points in the first half against TCU, only played 12 minutes. So Shelton, an exciting player, and you'll love this Tulsa team. Balanced, quick, and they can take it to the basket.
And another big question, what does Fresno State have left in its tank after double overtime last night? Well, Courtney Alexander hopes to lead Jerry Tarkanian's Bulldogs to the WAC championship against the Tulsa Golden Hurricane in Raisin Country. Coming up next.
You're a lawyer? Hell no. I hate lawyers. I just work for them.
This spring,
You may want to rethink your wardrobe a little.
get ready for the truth,
You might want to rethink those ties.
the whole truth,
What makes you think you can walk in there and find what we need?
They're called boobs, Ed.
and nothing but the truth.
How did you do this?
Seeing as how I have no brains or legal expertise, I just went up there and performed 634 sexual favors. I'm really quite tired.
Julia Roberts is Aaron Brockovich. Rated R. Starts Friday at theaters everywhere.
Flat TV from Philips. A new way to look at television. Freedom. Control. Just you and your laptop. Log on to autobytel.com for dealer cost info, reviews, and a low, no-haggle price. Autobytel.com. The road to your next car.
Enterprise? Hi, my car's out of commission, so I'm out of commission.
Enterprise will arrange to pick you up,
This is great.
drive you to our place, and get you on your way. Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
3 words for all you people stuck in a food rut: pony and tots.
Get our new hickory bacon dog with crispy bacon, cheese, and hickory sauce, or an extra long chili cheese coney. Your choice with lots of tater tots for a special low price.
Sonic America's driving.
Hockenheim, Schumacher, McLaren, Ferrari. Formula One 2000 season premiere, the Australian Grand Prix, Sunday at 10 a.m. on Fox Sports Net.
Well, it's a sea of red. If you didn't know it was Fresno, California, it could be Bloomington, Indiana, or several other college venues, but a great venue for college basketball. Now time for the starting lineups from Domino's Pizza, the Fresno State starters, the rebounder Larry Abney, shot blocker Melvin Ely, a good scorer, 16 points a game, and Terrence Roberson. With the backcourt, Demetrius Porter, the game-winning shot last night, alongside the nation's leading scorer in Courtney Alexander. Jerry Tarkanian, hopeful of a WAC championship, and to finally, in his 5th year, get the Bulldogs to the NCAA Tournament. Tulsa's starting lineup. This is more balanced scoring. Eric Coley, the great all-around defender. Center Brandon Kurtz. Marcus Hill, a 6'5 swingman. Tony Hurd and Greg Harrington in the backcourt. None of the starters scores over 11.5 points a game. And the WAC Coach of the Year in just his 3rd year at Tulsa, Bill Self. And now we'd like to welcome all of you who are joining us in the Midwest to Selland Arena in Fresno. It's the WAC Men's Championship. Fresno State 23-9. They've won 7 games in a row, and Tulsa with a 29-3 record. Ted Robinson, Dan Delwamini, Kevin Eschenfelder. There is no automatic bid at stake tonight. And to be realistic, both of these teams think that their names will be called tomorrow afternoon here Pacific time. But I tell you one thing, Fresno State knows they could cement things and have no worries tonight if they can win this game.
Yeah, no worries, but I really believe both teams are in. The tough thing for Fresno State, Ted, they have already defeated a very good Tulsa team twice. Tough to do it 3 times in 1 year. The Golden Hurricane, an excellent all-around team.
And although Fresno State is at home, Tulsa's the higher seed, so Tulsa's in white, Fresno State in red. Melvin Ely, great percentage shooter, but Kurtz, tough enough defense to force a miss. And on the run, it's an offensive foul against Coley of Tulsa.
Tulsa player control foul number 31, Marcus Hill.
Correction, it's Marcus Hill picking up the foul.
Now, we talked about the key matchup, and I think this is a big one. Melvin Ely and Brandon Kurtz. Eli, one of the leading shot blockers in the country, and Brandon Kurtz, a very good all-around player. So whoever wins that battle, whoever can stay on top with those 2 big guys, really is going to go a long way to winning this game. Eli already picks up his first foul, and last night, Ted, Fresno State scored 103 points against Hawaii, beat them 103, 100 in 2 overtimes. Bench scoring 0 for Fresno State, so they can ill afford to lose their starters. I mean, their guys played almost the entire game.
4 of the 5 Bulldogs, 20 points or better last night. Great entry pass, and Brandon Kurtz finishes.
Oh, wasn't that a beautiful pass by Coley on the outside? Just hit the guy on the correct hand away from the goal, and a beautiful turn by Kurtz.
Okay, the first 2 times down, now the 3rd straight time, Fresno going right into Eli. Are they trying to get Kurtz in foul trouble?
Well, no question, and that's what happened in the Tulsa game. At Tulsa, they took it right to Brandon Kurtz, and they got him in foul trouble, and they think Eli can win that battle. So far, he hasn't.
Like Eli has an offensive foul already. There's an offensive rebound and putback for Tulsa's Eric Coley.
Thanks to Eric Coley.
Well, Brandon Kurtz is really the only big player Tulsa has. Fresno State has a size advantage. And they could really exaggerate that if they get Kurtz out of the game.
Now, Eric Coley's only about 6'4", and you definitely have to get a body on him because he got great position on that rebound. He's got a 44-inch vertical, and he can get up there and make some shots. Tulsa off to a nice start. Fresno's got to be somewhat tired. I mean, they played a double overtime game last night with all their starters, going almost the entire way. So how much gas is left in the tank, Ted, is we'll wait and see on it.
That is definitely the question. Meanwhile, Tulsa's first 2 games here in the WAC tournament have not been great challenges, and there's the difference. The Tulsa starters have been able to get some rest.
Tulsa has 8 or 9 guys they can throw at you. Look at Fresno State. I mean, their starters are playing 38-plus points, 38-plus minutes per game. Hasn't Bill Self just done a tremendous job? As you said, Ted, the WAC Coach of the Year, and was it Oral Roberts before he came to Tulsa, and of course Jerry Tarkanian, a legendary guy and a future Hall of Fame coach.
Greg Harrington, sophomore guard. 4 Tulsa starters average between 11 and 11.5 points a game. It's incredible balance. We mentioned Shelton coming off the bench is their top scorer. Tulsa right now out to a 5-0 lead. From the outside it goes up, missing again, Roberson. Tulsa clears it, and on the run comes Hill. Nice dish off, and Kurtz has it contested by Roberson, who's called for the foul.
What Tulsa is doing is very effective. Their guards and their small forwards are rebounding the ball. And what I like about it, they're initiating the fast break. And Hill, here's a guy who's left-handed, so you have to get over on his left side. And he just drew the defense, gave it up to Kurtz, who's had a great start. And I think Brandon Kurtz is a key guy for this club. Kurtz took it in and picked up the foul of the game. So he's right here out of Bakersfield. And Brandon Kurtz has had really an exceptional couple of years at Tulsa.
Well, it's a story that is a little bit of a touchy one here around Fresno because he's from Bakersfield, which is south of Fresno a ways, but close enough that Fresno State thought they had a pretty good run at getting Brandon Kurtz to come here. And later in the process, he made a change, went to Tulsa, and has had a good 2 years with the Golden Hurricane. Second team all WAC this year.
Oh, what a start by Tulsa. Pitching a shutout here at 7-0, and we talked about the key matchup early, Kurtz and Ely, and Kurtz is winning it so far.
And Holy, the great defender for Tulsa, on Courtney Alexander.
One thing about Alexander, Ted, you watch him, he is one of the few guys in the country that can just create his shot anytime he wants it. Good job by Coley. Coley, a good leaper. His job is to keep the ball away from him. Don't let him touch it. Try to deny Alexander the ball.
There's the matchup, defensive player of the year. Partial block and a clean one on Porter's try. And at the other end, unable to finish it cleanly. Tony Hurd. Well, Hurd played great defense, then had a chance for an offensive reward. Couldn't handle the ball. Fresno State has missed its first 5 shots.
And Ted, remember, Fresno State features the tray. They shoot about 9 threes. They make about 9 threes a game. Turn it over again. Yep. Well, I think Tulsa is an excellent man-to-man defensive team. This guy, Bill Self, he's cool, under fire, and he has done a marvelous job, and his team plays terrific position man-to-man defense.
Tulsa's opponents shooting less than 40% for the year. Backdoor play, but the pass stolen by Fresno State. Courtney Alexander on the run, left hand all the way. And inside, unable to get it home is Ely as he was fouled. And after 3 minutes and 16 seconds, the Bulldogs will get a chance to get on the board from the foul line.
Greg Harrington of Tulsa, his first 13.
3 team fouls already on Tulsa.
Melvin Ely to the line.
Well, Melvin Ely, one of the Fresno State Bulldogs, who had a big game against Hawaii last night, made 8 of 10 field goals, 6 of 8 at the line for 22 points.
And a number of block shots.
And a tough matchup against Hawaii's center, who had a great 2 games here, Marquette Alexander.
Yeah, Marquette Alexander, who fouled out with about 3 minutes to go in that game. And I really believe if Marquette stayed in the game, Hawaii would have won. Finally, the fans can sit down. They don't sit down here until Fresno State finally gets a score. And they've been standing for a little over 3 minutes.
Which now means we can see the game.
Yeah, now we can see it.
The Royal fans sitting right in front of us.
Oh, nice steal.
Roberson.
And that's what Fresno State needs. They need Roberson, who's very quick and active, get in the passing lane and get a couple of easy shots. You need some easy transition scores in every game to be effective.
So now 7-4 for Tulsa. Good entry feed again to Kurtz with the left hand. Didn't get it. And then a foul on the rebound. And I believe it's going to be 2 on Melvin Ely. It is. And as we've already mentioned, this is Fresno State can't afford foul trouble, especially to Melvin Ely.
Now, this is just, see, it's not an accident that they're trying to initiate the ball into Brandon Kurtz. They realize that Eli has the 1 foul, so why not try to get Melvin in more foul trouble and put the ball right down to the player that he is guarding. So now you should go to Kurtz again. He is in the game, and Eli's got the 2. Go right back to him.
Now they're going to get a bad screen on the inbounds against Eric Coley. Bobby Jacobs, Bobby Hunt, Ron Setcher, the officiating trio for this championship game. Well, it was interesting. Dan Fresno tried to get Kurtz in foul trouble early, and it's worked out the exact opposite. Kurtz has got Melvin Ely in foul trouble.
And you know Bill Self's going to go right at Melvin Ely the next time down. Be interested to see if Fresno stays man-to-man, Ted, or if they switch, go to a zone to try to protect Eli. Well, they've done a great job on Alexander so far. He's explosive, but Coley's done a beautiful job on him.
He's the rebounding machine, but his shot blocked by Hill. And Tulsa comes down with it. Now Hill, a good 3-point shooter. Grazed the iron barely. Kurtz pulled it down. Coley running to start. And that's the 6th turnover already for the Golden Hurricane in the first 4.5 minutes. So Tulsa got the fast start. The first 7 points belong to Tulsa. Fresno State with the answer, but the Golden Hurricane playing on Fresno's home court out to the 7-4 lead.
It's great to hit a perfect shot. It's even better when you feel it. Now I'm doing more of both.
Ben Hogan Apex Plus irons. Forged for soft feel, perimeter weighted for solid shots. Whatever your handicap, experience the sound and feel of hitting a perfect shot. Shot after shot.
I've played for years, never felt anything like this.
Introducing Apex Plus irons from Ben Hogan. A feel for your game.
One question I get a lot is about this up here. Is it real? And looking at some of the old advertising, I can see why you'd wonder. Well, it's real. Just like when I say we carry suits by many of the same designers as department stores, but for 20 to 30% less. That's real too. As real as, well, you know what.
The Men's Warehouse.
You're gonna like the way you look. I guarantee it.
1-800-776-SUIT.
Jeeps are cheap at Archer Jeep. That's right, we repeat, Jeeps are cheap at Archer Jeep. Cheap, like $299 a month for a 2000 Grand Cherokee Laredo. That's cheap. We repeat, just $299 per month for a Grand Cherokee Laredo. Jeeps are cheap at Archer Jeep, and so are the Chryslers and Plymouths. Only at Archer Chrysler Plymouth Jeep at 2 great locations: the Southwest Freeway exit Belford or I-45 North exit Gulf Bank. Archer Chrysler Plymouth Jeep.
March Madness is here. We throw down with conference tournament highlights tonight.
Tulsa up 7-4. They've got some support here in Fresno, California at the WAC tournament. Tomorrow on Fox Sports Net, Going Deep talks about the changing color of the National Hockey League. More African Americans in the NHL today than the first 70 years of the league combined. Going Deep with Chris Myers, 9 p.m. tomorrow on Fox Sports Net. Demetrius Porter, the hero of last night's double overtime Fresno State win over Hawaii. Leading Eli going to work on Kurtz. So Eli staying in the game despite 2 fouls.
And that's a real gamble, but you know that Jerry Tarkanian just doesn't have a deep bench. So he's going to stay with Eli. And Fresno State start 2 of 9, and you only trail by a point. I mean, that's good news for the Bulldogs.
And in for Tulsa with the ball, David Shelton. He is their 6th man and their leading scorer at 14 a game. But Kurtz goes right back to work. Coley with the tip. And on the second one, it goes.
So I think Kurtz has to take the ball right to the basket, Ted. He is fading away. The guy guarding him has 2 fouls. Use your dribble if you have to, but take it toward the rim. Oh, they're going at it inside.
Having some war. Courtney Alexander, tough shot. Oh, high is Ely for the tip. Wrestling with Shelton, grabs another rebound. Boy, Ely is not backing off at all.
Now, Eli's had a great year for Fresno State. Really the most improved player they have. Look at this move. How do you like it? Oh, let me take it strong.
That's what has everybody drooling about the nation's leading scorer. Courtney Alexander's first points. Now Abney knocks it away. To the floor goes Shelton. And finally a held ball. Possession arrow will keep it with Tulsa.
Everybody loves the fact, Ted, that Courtney Alexander has really made his game better by going to the goal. Look at this. He can break you down. And how about that little hanging one-hander in the air? And you know what else? Avoids the charge by sliding his body to the right and not allowing the defender to get in front.
You know, Danny, that's the one thing Courtney Alexander says. He spent all last summer working out with a lot of pro players. He said the biggest thing he did with his game was gain the ability to go right. Made people be able to defend him clean both ways. Greg Harrington with a nice drive for Tulsa. Now here come the Golden Hurricane again. Fast pace here in the early moments. In the game is D'Angelo McDaniel. Ball stolen by Alexander. Oh, Alexander soaring.
Are you kidding me or what? I think Harrington had some thoughts that he might be able to go up with him, but not that time.
A miss there by Shelton. Rebounded Fresno State. Chance for their first lead. Well, you wouldn't know that there's no automatic bid at stake tonight. There's a lot of emotion in the building.
Well, they're playing for pride. I mean, they got quite a rivalry going between Tulsa and Fresno State. And Fresno State beat Tulsa twice this year. Tulsa's only, I mean, they lose by 1 against Oral Roberts. They lose by 1 to Fresno, and they lose by 2 to Fresno. I mean, they're pretty close to being 32-0 at this point.
And Demetrius Porter beat them once here. Second shot by Ely was rejected, and Tulsa comes away.
I think Tulsa now, Ted, has to regroup and go back inside. They're going a little bit too quick.
Yes, they are.
Out of control.
Held ball again. This time possession error to Fresno State. These officials will be tested tonight because this crowd doesn't believe that Fresno State ever commits a foul. I mean, they are fierce in their support. And the officials are going to hear it from the fans. They'll hear it from the bench. They'll hear it everywhere.
Well, Fresno fans are so excited because if they get to the tournament, which they should, the last time they were there, let's go all the way back to Boyd Grant and 1984. So they haven't been to the tournament in quite a while, and there you see the aggressive nature of the game. But the fans here are absolutely in hunger to get into the NCAA tournament. One of those Boyd Grant teams here, and he did an unbelievable job here at Fresno. They've only been in, what, 3 times? In the history of the school, they've been in the tournament, but they're going to get in this year.
That's what's surprising when you look at Fresno State's history. 81, 82, and 84. 3 times in 4 years they went to the NCAA, and not since. This is the 5th year for Jerry Tarkanian. They're tired of the NIT. Great block there. Noel Felix off the bench for Fresno State. Courtney Alexander high in the air over Coley.
Can you believe that one? I'll tell you what, I thought Coley did a great defensive job on it. Coley was right with him. He just said, I'm going to arch it a little higher.
Well, that's a great defensive player. Courtney Alexander's just scored twice in a row over him. Now a steal by Abney. Alexander with the left hand scoring and a foul.
We got the highlight film going tonight in Fresno. Courtney got off to a bit of a slow start, but he's made up for it. Well, the defense has keyed the offense. How about the pass by Porter? And then let's just switch it to the left hand and get it up on the sweet spot.
Second foul on Greg Harrington of Tulsa, the 5th team foul. And here in the first 8.5 minutes, Danny, I think folks around the country have seen Fresno State in a nutshell. This is a team of streaks. They can have 4 bad minutes and then followed up with 4 awesome minutes.
And they're a team that when they get some steals and they're playing terrific defense, their defense will create offense, and they are an open court specialty type team. They can finish big time when they get it in the open court.
And now Tulsa gets his first dose tonight of the Fresno crowd.
is more than a trial by fire. It is a rite of passage. And if you can master your fear, outsmart your enemy, and never yield even to yourself, you will be changed forever. The few, the proud, the Marines.
In death, there are no accidents, no coincidences, and no escapes. If cheating death, you have to figure out how it's coming back at you.
Final Destination, rated R.
I'll see you soon.
Scott? Who's the NBA's all-time leader in blocked shots?
Sports Geniuses, the new game show that tests your sports IQ. Premieres March 27th on Fox Sports Net.
The WAC championship here in Fresno. Fresno State on a 15-4 run now to take the lead over Tulsa. Let's go to Kevin Eschenfelder.
I'm standing by with Carl Benson, the commissioner of the Western Athletic Conference. I don't think you could ask for much more than what you got tonight.
Well, you know, 1 versus 2 number seeds and 2 outstanding basketball teams. I think we're in store for a great evening.
Well, I tell you what, one of the first things we said tonight was this is the way college basketball should be. This place is absolutely rocking. You got to love it.
Great electricity and showcasing WAC basketball, as we hope for.
All right, thank you very much for stopping by. Ted, back to you.
And next year, Danny, they'll take the tournament to Tulsa and play in the brand new on-campus facility, the gorgeous one on the campus of Tulsa.
Yeah, and that is a beautiful facility, and the fans, they got great fans in Tulsa, so the WAC, I'm sure, will have an equally as successful tournament next year.
Fresno State pouncing on Tulsa's turnovers. Brandon Kirk's now operating against Noel Felix, who's in off the bench, and look at again Felix jumping jack rebound.
Yeah, he's a big leaper. Oh, that was a pass. You see, that was planned off the glass, kick it back outside.
Fresno Fats threw that one, huh? Great bank shot. Huh?
That was a great one. Watch a 5-second count here. You got to release the ball.
Oh, great pass. How frustrating. What a great pass by Courtney Alexander. And Noel Felix, 2 shots, couldn't put it down. Shelton for 3. Made by Alexander. Tulsa's in a long drought here. Oh, they stripped the ball. Tony Hurd nicely. And the foul will score the basket, I believe. Yes, it will. Travis Demandi in off the bench, tried to stop the hoop, but didn't. Marcus Hill puts it down.
Yeah, they didn't rotate back Fresno State with the turnover, and Marcus Hill makes a nice job. I'm a little surprised here. Demandi could have been called for an intentional in this situation, but he did go for the ball. He tried to reach in there, and Marcus Hill, a lefty, brought it in nicely to make the goal. So good job by Tulsa. And that's the one thing they do. I mean, they do steal the ball at a very high rate. I mean, this is a club that gets after you. Guys like Coley, who broke Tim Hardaway's record in terms of steals in the WAC. They've got some people out there that can go after the ball and play the passing games.
Larry Anthony now gets his first rest. Melvin Ely is in. 3-point play attempt, no, but Tulsa rebounds. And Shelton will go to the line as his putback was fouled.
And did you notice that Melvin Ely, who just came in the game, held position, did not even go or attempt to try to block the shot, cognizant of the fact he has the 2 fouls.
And the foul goes to Noel Felix. And now David Shelton had 18 first-half points here last night against TCU. Tulsa was in a tough battle with TCU in the first half. Shelton came in and just went off.
Yeah, he had 18, only played 12 minutes at 18 points. So Bill Self, in my opinion, has got the best 6th man in the country. And David Shelton, I mean, he's a guy that can come in and really do some damage.
Shelton was a junior college transfer. He got out of Cincinnati.
Oh, what a tough break for Kenyon Martin and the Cincinnati Bearcats and Bob Huggins. And Cincinnati, I thought, had the real legitimate chance to win the whole thing this year, and it's too bad that Kenyon Martin went down.
It's a double dribble called against Marcus Hill of Tulsa.
Although, Ted, I still believe Cincinnati will get a number 1 seed. I still think they deserve a number 1 seed. You cannot take it away from them, even though they had that early Conference USA loss to St. Louis. How about St. Louis? How about that? They went all 4.
Well, a lot of teams around the country that are on what has become known as the bubble didn't like seeing that because St. Louis would not have been a tournament team, but they are now after winning the Conference USA tournament today. Steele and Marcus Hill gives Tulsa the lead.
Fresno State has problems when Demetrius Porter is out of the game. He is a guy that controls the tempo. He does not turn it over. You notice now who's handling the ball. I mean, they bring Alexander out with the WAC. That's a tough shot. Very tough, but not for Porter.
No, I was just saying.
He's got 11 already.
There's certain players for whom the degree of difficulty isn't a big deal. We saw one earlier this year, Eddie House at Arizona State.
Yes, we did. We were there when Eddie had his 61 and made it look easy. At 61, they had to go to 2 overtimes to win.
And the Bulldogs coming up with a 1-point lead. Demetrius Porter, the point guard, out. He played 39 minutes last night. He was the only one of the 5 Fresno State starters that played less than 40 minutes last night. We saw Tulsa had a very easy win here on a Thursday against Rice. A little tougher game last night with TCU, but still didn't have to push their starters that much.
And I think they got to look at Kurtz. They've really forgotten about him, and I think Brandon Kurtz, you can't rely on that shot. Go inside, get your back to the goal, and try to take it to the basket.
Dante Swanson in the game, and he got held up on his move there by Demambi. That foul will put Tulsa at the line. Second on Demambi and the 7th against Fresno State. Now Porter comes back in, and also coming in off the bench, Roberson back in for Fresno State. So Dante Swanson, a freshman from Wagner, Oklahoma, is a great defensive player. Tulsa's got a veteran team in the starting unit. They got a lot of kids coming off the bench.
Yes, they do. They got a lot of young guys that are coming off and do a very good job. So Bill Self has that nice rotation going of about 9 guys. Swanson really a terrific defender, as you said, and a guy that also can make some outside jumpers.
And now on the rebound, a foul here against Tulsa. Well, what Tulsa's put together, Dan, a lot of people around the country don't know. I mean, it's probably the best program right now that nobody knows about. We're going to get a timeout here taken, and actually it was going to be a 30-second, but now Fresno State has extended this to a full timeout. 8:50 to go, first half of the WAC championship. Tulsa got the early lead, but we're tied now at 17.
Golf Digest presents 50 ways to lower your score.
To get greater distance, turn your right foot out. For a better backswing, don't slide. Turn your hips instead.
Now, lower your score, drive longer, hit straighter, and play your best golf ever with the 50 new stroke-saving tips in every Golf Digest. Call now for your risk-free trial issue. If you like it, get 11 more issues, 12 in all, for just $19.97. Plus, get this stroke-saving video free.
Call 800-422-8900.
Here's a way to help your business with no risk at all. Just call for your free trial version of QuickBooks Pro, America's #1 best-selling small business accounting software, from the makers of Quicken, so you know it's easy to use. Want to write a check? You just start typing, and QuickBooks Pro fills in the rest. It shows you how much money you're owed and who owes it. It even prints invoices with your company logo. Call for your free QuickBooks Pro trial version now. There's no bill, no hassle, there's no risk. You can't do better than that.
Tied up first half here in Fresno, the WAC championship on the line. Tomorrow night on Fox Sports Net, a classic bout on Sunday Night Fights. Bernard Hopkins slugs it out with Antoine Eccles for the IBF Middleweight Championship. 7 p.m. tomorrow on Fox Sports Net. Fresno State started slowly, fell behind 7-0. Then had that 4 or 5 minute spurt where they look like a team that's unbeatable.
Well, they do have streaks, and Fresno State so explosive. You see Alexander can make positive moves and finishes big time on that play there. So Courtney Alexander, a guy that really triggers the fast break for Fresno State. So he's had a big half. Didn't start off especially well, but look what he has done. Courtney Alexander has scored the most of the points so far for the Bulldogs.
Last night he had a horrendous outside shooting night. He was just 1 of 11 in three-point shooting against Hawaii, but still scored 27, and now an easy 2 for Roberson.
And a beautiful look by Porter. Everybody forgets the pass. All they see is the guy scoring, but Demetrius Porter, who just re-entered the game, makes everything happen. Takes care of the ball, never turns it over. Solid play.
Nicely done inside, and Shelton on the good interior pass from Kurtz.
Shall we just go to the last 2 minutes, Ted? Fast forward.
Well, history would tell you, right?
I mean, these two teams are so well matched, and they've had such great games so far this year. You get the feeling like it's going to be another photo.
Well, I'll tell you, Courtney Alexander doesn't look like he has 103 fever tonight.
No, he had the temperature actually a couple of days ago. I think he's fine now. Again, I think Tulsa has forgotten about Kurtz. The man guarding him has 2 fouls. I think they need to take a couple of trips and look for him. Look for the big guy in there.
Right through Kurtz's hands and out of bounds. Tulsa uncharacteristic in this first half with its turnovers. That's 10 of them. 10 already for Bill Self's team. We'll get to a timeout. Tied up at 19.
Mario Perillo here, taking you to Italy with Domino's new Italian Originals Chicken Grill Pizza. Now for only $10.99 a night, travel with me through tender chicken, marinated in Italian spices. Meander through slice after slice of Tuscany with seasoned onions. Marvel at the colors of the peppers, red, yellow, and green. New Domino's Italian Originals Chicken Grill Pizza on a special crust for only $10.99. This promises to be the pie of a lifetime.
Freedom. Control. What a ride. Just you and your laptop. Log on to autobytel.com for dealer cost info, reviews, and a low, no-haggle price. It's a hassle-free trip. autobytel.com. The road to your next car.
Building projects like these are going on throughout the Western Athletic Conference as WAC schools continue to enhance and upgrade their athletic facilities. On all 8 campuses, new construction or renovations have either recently been completed, are underway, or are in the planning stages. This clearly demonstrates that the universities of the WAC are committed to their athletic programs as the 21st century begins. At the Western Athletic Conference, we are certainly building for the future.
All right, we're tied at 19, and here's what they're trying to do. Melvin Ely, here's the matchup that they're trying to find. This man here, Harrington's going to use his dribble. He's going to come off, and he's going to penetrate the defense, and they're going to try to get the ball inside to Ely, and they're not, I mean, it's inside to Kurtz, and they're not able to do it. Now they reverse the ball to the other side, and Brandon Kurtz is not in position to catch it. They had the correct matchup the first time that they had the ball on the outside. Harrington not able to find him. Harrington did not look in there, and I think they had the proper matchup, but they didn't take advantage of it.
Terrence Roberson short on the turnaround, and it's out of bounds off Tulsa's Harrington. Well, Melvin Ely has played a long time now with 2 fouls.
Yes, he has. He had those 2 fouls very early. And any time, and you know, Eli's going to play right behind at the post against Kurtz. So Kurtz will be he'll be a big target in there when the Golden Hurricane has the ball.
Alexander, that's 13. Well, he is putting together what could shape up to be a big night.
Yeah, he's got quite a resume for himself so far.
13 points. He's made 6 out of 11 from the floor.
And it's not like Coley has not been up on him a couple of times. I mean, he's been defended, but still able to get it. There's the matchup, but of course, then you switch to put Abney on him. So Abney did a good job to recover and come over on Kurtz.
Go right by Coley. See, Danny, I think the other problem Tulsa has, they can't make Alexander play defense. He's guarding either a Harrington or a Coley that's not really a threat.
No, it has
has not been a threat in Harrington, although is a guy that can't score. Well, I tell you, Fresno's playing some great defense. I mean, they are getting after it. Not easy to make guard-to-guard passes in this game.
Shelton. Too hard over Ely. Rebounded by Larry Abney. So now Fresno State trying to assert a little control in this first half.
Now's the time you want to put some touches on the ball, and you may want to isolate again and take a look at Alexander. Might have a travel.
That's what it is against Abney. Marcus Hill back in the game for Tulsa. Shelton sitting. So the first entrance for Tulsa's sixth man, Shelton, only 3 points. And Demandi back in for Fresno State. Our 7-Up Pop Quiz, the only WAC team to win the NCAA Tournament.
Yeah, we've got it. It's a little clue. It was quite a while ago.
Hurts. Now this is what we're talking about, a little strong. Took it right at Eli.
Yeah, but that's the matchup they wanted. Now Kurtz has to finish. He took it to the goal. Take your time because Eli is not going to defend you.
Abney clearly slid on that screen. He's complaining with that was a clear sliding screen.
Now you have to be stationary on the screen. Good call, Ted. He definitely moved his body. He moved to the right, and I thought the official made the correct call.
Well, that's just to protect the player from getting hurt.
Yes, sir. It is to protect him from getting hurt, and now, of course, this is not a player control foul, so Tulsa will be shooting a 1-on-1 free throw.
That'll be Tony Hurd at the line. Hurd is a senior from Oklahoma City. All WAC defensive team player this year. Scored a lot better near the end of the year for the Hurricanes.
I think Bill Self is he's relaxed. He's taking it easy. As we said earlier, I think Bill would really love to obviously beat Fresno here. It's a road game for him. It's the finals of the WAC tournament, but he said, this would be one of the great tournament wins in tournament week. Yeah. Maybe it'd be a heck of a job to win here at Fresno.
Hurts missing, and it's rebounded by Fresno State. Well, Billy Tubbs, the TCU coach, earlier this week called this the Fresno Invitation.
Well, next year it's the Tulsa Invitation.
And Roberson buries the three. Well, Billy Tubbs crying aside, this is what you need to have in a tournament like this. It's got to be played on a home court where there's passion for basketball.
And there's passion here. In Central California, there's a whole lot of passion in Fresno.
Well, right now, Fresno State up 6 with the ball after Tulsa had scored the first 7 points of the game. Long one. Roberson rattled out. Roberson had been in a bad shooting slump, but had a great shooting night last night. Getting into a little jump shooting matchup here.
Well, when you play Fresno State and they shoot so many trays that the opposition sometimes comes down and there might be an early one and they take it too quick. I think you need to put some touches on the ball against Fresno State, try to enter the ball low, attack them around the basket.
And I think that's exactly where Dante Swanson, the freshman, got caught up in that for Tulsa. Courtney Alexander, 15 points already.
Now he's being guarded by a guy. He's got to look at that pass.
Abney trying to finish. Ball won't go down for him again, and it does.
And remember, Larry Abney earlier this year had 35 rebounds in a game. They didn't win the game. He had 35 rebounds.
And now Bill Self takes a timeout, and the Red Faithful here at Fresno are roaring. The Bulldogs up 8. Well, almost 10,000 strong. They're building a new arena on campus here in Fresno. In 2 years, it should be open. The Save Mart Center. This will be great passion for basketball here, and now the defensive play of Fresno State.
Well, their defense has really been sensational so far tonight. They're doing a good job of defending at the post, and what I like about it is Alexander's back rebounding the ball and initiating the break. There again, if you don't block the shot, you bother it. You're up there and you're altering shots, and it's just as important to alter a shot as it is to block it many times. So great defense by the Dogs tonight.
Well, they're thinking NCAA here. Started to say a little bit earlier, you know, Tulsa may have the best program going that no one in the nation's heard about. Tomorrow should make it 6 times in the last 7 years that Tulsa has gone to the NCAA Tournament, and they're hoping to get their highest seed ever. Last year they were, in 1997, they were a 5 seed, and they're hoping that a win tonight that would get them to 30-3 and give them a shot to get a higher seed than that. They don't have the strongest schedule. That's been the one thing that's holding them back.
Last year, in fact, they beat College of Charleston, and then Duke just annihilated them. And they felt that the loss to Duke did help them a bit. They came back refocused. Very good move with the goal there, but you're right. Tulsa now playing, if they could finish at 30-3, you know, they may go as high as a 4 seed.
Well, last year they were in that 8-9 game with College of Charleston. That meant the winner was going to get a number 1. That's what happened to Tulsa. They ran into Duke. Well, Melvin Ely on that basket by Coley has picked up his 3rd foul. So Fresno State avoided that for a long time, but now Ely picks it up at 4 minutes, 7 seconds to go first half. And a 3-point play by Coley is a silencer. It brings Fresno State's Noel Felix back in the game. 6'8" freshman.
Fresno State had so many players that were up there in terms of WAC statistics. A guy like Melvin Ely led the conference in field goal percentage, and Larry Abney was right behind him. You got a guy like Roberson, who's one of the leaders in the country in free throw shooting, and an excellent 3-point guy. So he makes a nice move, but I think he's going to get a charge, and that is the correct call. Good job to stand in the way and pick up the foul.
Second foul against Terrence Roberson of Fresno State. So 3:46 to go in the first half. The WAC championship in Fresno. The Bulldogs, their home court, up 5.
Mario Perillo here, taking you to Italy with Domino's new Italian Originals Chicken Grill Pizza. Now for only $10.99 a night, travel with me through tender chicken, marinated in Italian spices. Meander through slice after slice of Tuscany with seasoned onions. Marvel at the colors of the peppers, red, yellow, and green. New Domino's Italian Originals Chicken Grill Pizza on a special crust for only $10.99. This promises to be the pie of a lifetime.
They told me to go straight on Beekman. There is no Beekman.
Don't get lost. Get never lost. The in-car navigation system from Hertz.
There is no Beekman!
Hertz Freedom Rates. Only $29.99 a day at participating U.S. airports, with the freedom to pick up and drop off anytime. Just keep it over a Saturday night. Hertz will provide the great rates. The rest is up to you.
Let the party begin. Oh, what a hit. Inside fastball struck him out. There's no reason to panic. It is long gone. Oh, man. How do you like that? Spoken. That was incredible. Oh, what a catch. Doesn't get any better than this. Membership has its privileges.
We welcome you back to Fresno, California. Kevin Eschenfelder back with you. 5-point lead for Fresno State. That leads us to our 7-Up Pop quiz. Of course, the question, the only WAC team to win an NCAA title, go back to 1966. Don Haskins, Texas Western Miners, winning it over Kentucky. Not only doing a lot for the tournament, for this conference, but also for all of college basketball. And this 2000 tournament dedicated to Don Haskins. Ted, back to you.
It's still amazing to watch the films as you see the black and whites of Don Haskins and his Texas Western team. It's now UTEP. At that time in 1965, beating Adolph Rupp in Kentucky to win the national championship.
Remember David Big Daddy Latin. I think he was the first-round draft pick of the Golden State Warriors at that time. But Don shocked the basketball world back in '66 when Texas Western won it.
Swanson missing. Don Haskins retired after last year. Was unable to be here with some health concerns. Couldn't be here in Fresno for the WAC tournament. Demetrius Porter fires it. Look at again, Abney, a rebounding machine.
He sure is. And here's a guy that's just worked on his game. I mean, Larry was not coming out of high school somebody that everybody thought, oh, this guy's a great player. He has developed his game and has just been one of the top rebounders in the country this year.
Oh, great drive by Marcus Hill. It's two right back for Tulsa.
With Eli out, the middle will be open for Tulsa. They should take the ball down the slot, try to take it in there and see if they can score around the goal.
Alexander, 15 points. He's now working against Dante Swanson. And the shot short. Well, Swanson had one prior experience this year, Danny, didn't he, Garden?
Yes, he did.
And inside, McDaniel finishes for Tulsa.
A nice job by Tulsa. And you can see where they're attacking. McDaniel with the easy score. And the game at Tulsa, Ted, I thought Dante Swanson did a terrific defensive job on Courtney Alexander. What he does is he tries to keep the ball away from him. Don't let him touch it.
Abney fouled as he tried to finish it with a dunk. McDaniel with the foul. 7th team foul against Tulsa. Well, I tell you one thing, watching UTEP the other night here, Danny, it was amazing to watch the young man who replaced Don Haskins, Jason Rabideau. What an energetic bundle he is on the side.
Yeah, Jason does work the sideline, and he must say he walks up and down in front of the sidelines. He must go 5 miles every game. Of course, Jason was Kelvin Sampson's assistant at Washington State in Oklahoma.
Coming up at halftime tonight, we'll take a look at one of the leading candidates for the John Wooden Award, Courtney Alexander. We'll also have highlights of the first half and maybe take a look at who might be in tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow evening, depending on where you are, when the field of 64 is announced. Kevin Eschenfelder will have it for you coming up at halftime. Brandon Kurtz was out for a brief bit back in the game for Tulsa. 4-point Fresno State lead.
I think Kurtz would like this matchup. He's being defended by a freshman in Noel Felix, so you might want to take a look at Kurtz.
Coley couldn't finish, and high for the rebound, Alexander.
Well, Alexander is going to the defensive glass more than I've seen him in any other game tonight. Tough shot again, but just didn't get it down.
We're down to a minute 40 in the half. Marcus Hill, open three. Got his own rebound. He wasn't closed down. Roberson flew by him. And Shelton off the bench.
Yeah, you made a great point. You know, when you get out there to defend a three-point shooter and he releases the ball, it does you no good to fly by him. What you got to do is when he shoots it, get back and put a body on him so he can't get the rebound.
Now Roberson atones for that, gets the two back at the other end. 9 points now for Terrence Roberson. And over the shoulder, Abney jars the ball away from Shelton. Tulsa not happy. They thought that should have been a foul as Abney sort of knocked Shelton down and Alexander gets it at the other end.
Yeah, it's like a 4-point swing. The foul's not called. I think the officials let him play. Even though a guy like Eli does have the 3 fouls and out of the game, I think the officials are letting both clubs go after it. And they should. Big game.
3 missing by Shelton. So Fresno State trying to end with a flourish here in the half. Up 6.
Well, what a beautiful pass, no finish. I thought a great look by Roberson.
And Porter getting back.
Now I think you need to back it out if you're Fresno State. They're trying to play for one shot, and that ball went into 6th row. Guys are so emotional. Well, I mean, that was just released, about the 5th row of the stands.
Well, I've got to believe Bill Self must think his team's getting sucked into Fresno's game here.
Well, he's definitely thinking that. He's going, look, guys, we got to get back to doing what we do well. We love to make some touches on the ball. We like to initiate it inside. We're coming down, taking the first available shot. I don't think Jerry, he doesn't want to look. He goes with the hand on the head and looks at his shoes. I don't want to see.
12 turnovers in the first half for Tulsa. And the shot clock is off, so the Golden Hurricane will run it down here for the last one.
Oh, this is what Hawaii did to Fresno State for most of the game last night. They spread the court out and got some easy shots in this little rotation. That's exactly why that ball is blocked.
Knocked loose, though, by Coley. Shelton has it put in, and that'll count by Brandon Kurtz.
I'll
I'm sorry. Actually, it's a foul before the putback. So it's no basket by Kurtz, but a foul against Fresno State.
Yeah, that was a good. It looked like Shelton, who got the ball inside, picked it up and was fouled right there. And there's your foul. And then Kurtz did follow it in, but no basket. And this is what Shelton brings to the table. He has been shooting the ball, Ted, on the outside. He is a guy that punishes you around the glass. Why not take it more to the basket? He has been relying on his perimeter game a little bit too much in the first half.
So the foul is on Courtney Alexander. It is his second. The half is over, so Shelton will shoot these 2 free throws with no one on the line. Shelton is 78% foul shooter this year. So despite a poor shooting first half for Tulsa and a lot of turnovers, they're going to get off this court in the game. Of course, they started out 7-0.
Yeah, they started off great, and Fresno just put it in second gear. But you're right. If you're Bill Self, you're going to tell your team, look, we didn't shoot especially well, and we need to do a much better job on Alexander, obviously. But the fact is that they're still in the game. Look at the numbers on Courtney Alexander, the rebounds, the points. I mean, he's just had a scintillating first half.
The WAC Player of the Year and the leading scorer in America at 25 points a game, Courtney Alexander with 17. And Fresno State has a 4-point lead at halftime of the WAC championship.
Dig into the Whataburger What a Trip sweepstakes, where you and a friend can win a week-long trip to the 50th state, Hawaii, in celebration of Whataburger's 50th anniversary. Pick up entry forms at participating Whataburgers through the month of March.
It feels so good to hit a perfect shot, but it didn't happen enough. I wanted to feel it more, a lot more.
Ben Hogan Apex Plus irons, forged for soft feel, perimeter weighted for solid shots. Whatever your handicap, experience the sound and feel of hitting a perfect shot, shot after shot.
I never knew a forged iron could feel this good.
Introducing Apex Plus irons from Ben Hogan, a feel for your game.
Sunday Night Fights presents a classic bout. Bernard Hopkins slugs it out with Antoine Echols for the IBF Middleweight Championship. Sunday Night Fights at 7 on Fox Sports Net.
Peter Waring or John Culberson for Congress. The differences are surprisingly clear. Higher sales taxes. Waring, no. Culberson, yes. Higher gasoline taxes, same story. Waring, no. Culberson, yes. That's right. Culberson voted not once, but twice for higher taxes. Here are the official records, and here are Culberson's votes. John Culberson, a record of supporting higher taxes. Peter Waring supports lower taxes. The clear choice. Peter Waring, Congress.
Reel in the great prices at Academy.
Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the right price.
Academy Sports and Outdoors has all the right stuff for fishing at everyday low prices. A huge selection of brand name reels, rods, and global positioning systems to get you where they're biting. Get the Magellan GPS 320 for only $169 after $30 mail-in rebate right now at Academy.
The right stuff, the right price. Academy.
Spurs basketball, Tuesday at 7 on Fox Sports Net.
How apropos that right outside Selland Arena, there'd be a statue of young Corbett III, a welterweight champion back in the 30s, and inside, a couple of teams slugging it out. Fresno State on top by a count of 35-31. Kevin Eschenfelder, welcome you back in here in Fresno, California. You haven't noticed in the first half, Courtney Alexander is the real deal. 17 points in that first half of play. You know, he had a couple of goals, neither of which was to lead the nation in scoring. One to graduate and lead his team to an NCAA tournament. Looks like he's going to do both. We talk about Courtney Alexander, a Wooden Award candidate.
Fox Sports Net brings you a look at this year's contenders for the Los Angeles Athletic Club's John R. Wooden Award and All-America team. Courtney Alexander is John Wooden's kind of guy. The Fresno State Bulldog has NBA All-Star potential, but he decided to hold off on the pros to return to FSU for his degree. Nothing could make head coach Jerry Tarkanian happier. Tark welcomed back a star guard forward who is tops in the Western Athletic Conference in scoring and who's among the league top 10 in steals, assists, free throw percentage, and threes per game. Yeah, this Bulldog's got some bite. He was a projected first-round selection for last year's NBA draft, but a degree in anthropology was in store just last December, not to mention a shot at the Wooden Award. The 6'6 senior sat out the 1997-98 season after transferring from Virginia, but this former high school player of the year was worth waiting for. The senior leads his team in scoring with over 24 points per game and adds more than 5 boards and 4 assists to the mix. He is a true scholar athlete. That's what makes Courtney Alexander a leading contender for the John R. Wooden Award and All-America team. This year's Wooden Award will be presented live from the Los Angeles Athletic Club Friday, April 7th on Fox Sports Net. The college basketball season doesn't end until this trophy is presented.
35-31, Fresno State on top. Tulsa fans hoping for a better second half than first. We've got more to come when we return to Fresno, California. It's the WAC Championship. More coming on Fox Sports Net.
Before I quit smoking, I asked my doctor, is Nicorette safe? And he said, of course Nicorette is safe. Smoking is not. Nicorette has been proven safe and effective in dozens of clinical trials. And Nicorette offers the Committed Quitter Support Program, which my doc said is clinically proven to increase my chances of success by up to 50%. And when he told me that only Nicorette comes in mint, I knew that that was the right choice for me. So I took my doctor's advice, and you know what? It worked.
You can do it. Nicorette can help.
It is more than a trial by fire. It is a rite of passage. And if you can master your fear, outsmart your enemy, and never yield even to yourself, you will be changed forever. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Freedom. Control. Just you and your laptop. Log on to autobytel.com for dealer cost info, reviews, and a low, no-haggle price. Autobytel.com. The road to your next car.
Burger King introduces a new twist on the Whopper, the Bacon Cheddar Whopper. Crispy bacon and melted cheddar cheese with the great flame-broiled taste of a Whopper.
Gentlemen, we have re-entry in T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7.
The Bacon Cheddar Whopper, available on Earth for a limited time only, so grab one today.
I'm free to do what I want any old time.
In our family, men lose their hair early.
Thank you.
By the time we hit 30, we don't have to invest much in combs. So I started using Rogaine when I was like 28 at the first sign of fallout. Before I looked like I needed it, because I knew I would. So here I am. I've been using Rogaine for about 2 years now, right at the source of the problem, and I don't see any difference. And that's the idea. You keep the hair you have. Look, I love my dad. I'm just not in a rush to look like him. Simple, safe, smart. Rogaine. It's stronger than heredity.
Enterprise? Hi, my car's out of commission, so I'm out of commission.
Enterprise will arrange to pick you up.
This is great.
Drive you to our place and get you on your way. Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Fresno State, the 2 seed, leading 14th ranked Tulsa 35-31 at halftime. Kevin Eschenfeld to welcome you back inside Selland Arena, and it's been crazy here in the first 20 minutes of basketball, but that's kind of the way it goes in March, because today it's been that way all around the nation. We start with our look around the NCAA, starting in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Shane Battier with 18 points leading the way for Duke today. Battier doing it inside and outside. When he wasn't getting it done, Mike Dunleavy was. He had 15, and they knock off Wake 82-73. America East. You know you have to have highlights when it's the Blue Hens and the Flying Dutchman. Delaware and Hofstra. Hofstra goes up by 5 late, and they're dancing for the first time since 1977. Hofstra wins it 76-69. Now moving west to the Pac-10, UCLA and Washington. Jerron Rush inside, making the strong move. He had 15 points in 15 minutes of work. Steps outside, hits the 3-ball. Jason Capano also with 18 points on 7 of 9 shooting from the floor. Scores around the nation today. As we said, Duke a winner 82-73 over Wake Forest today. They advance on to the championship game in the ACC. Stanford rolls on. They roll over Eddie House in Eddie's house today, 65-57. Casey Jacobson with 17 points. Stevie Johnson had a career high today of 21 points and 11 boards as Iowa State knocks off Oklahoma State to advance to the championship game in the Big 12. Michigan State continuing to roll on. They'll play Illinois in the championship tomorrow, the Big 10. It was Arizona all over Cal in the desert, 70-61. Gilbert Arenas with 22 points. Big East, Temple 65-44 over the Bonnies as the Atlantic 10 Conference Championship goes to John Chaney's team. Arkansas, one of the big surprises right now. They knock off LSU today, 69-67. It snaps LSU's 10-game winning streak. A 20-4 run in the second half, a big part of it. Joe Johnson with 21 points. Moving back to the ACC, Maryland, a 3-point winner over NC State. Dixon had 21 in that one. Maryland, of course, will play Duke tomorrow. And Oklahoma, no problems with Texas, 81-65. And Guadalajara with a career high 31 points. Here at halftime, the Hurricane have 31, Bulldogs with 35. Fresno State by 4. More when we come back in a moment.
Preparing for an athletic contest means more than just physically putting on a uniform.
There's the mental aspect to your pre-game routine that shouldn't be ignored.
Good sportsmanship is an important part of any sporting event and reflects directly on you and the institution you represent.
Good sportsmanship.
Don't leave it in your locker.
At McDonald's, we put extra zest into seasoning our biggest, beefiest burger. We go the extra mile with big sliced tomato and fresh whole leaf lettuce. We take extra care chopping the fresh onions. We even think big about exactly where to put the ketchup and mayo. Why? Because you have big expectations that can only be satisfied by a Big Extra. Presenting the extraordinarily big taste of the Big Extra. Where? Did somebody say McDonald's?
1950. Harmon Dobson opens the first Whataburger. Over the years, his recipe for success catches on. Time passed and the popularity of hot, fresh, made-to-order meals grew. Whataburger changed outside, but inside the food remained great tasting. For generations, Whataburger has been a family favorite across the Lone Star State and beyond. Today, we invite you, your family, and friends to Whataburger to see what Mr. Dobson started 50 years ago.
Celebrate the Cheer King's 50th anniversary sale.
50 years with the largest selection.
50 years with lower prices.
50 years of great service.
50 years of just doing things right.
Save 21 to 57% off everyday low prices and make no payments, pay no interest for 6 full months. The Cheer King's 50th anniversary sale. Don't miss it.
Beneath your home lies another home, the home of millions of hungry subterranean termites. With hundreds of tunnels stretching thousands of yards, there's nothing termites won't do to ultimately eat you out of house and home. That was until Centricon, the first ever termite colony elimination system that monitors and baits to get termites where they live. Look in the yellow pages under pest control for a Centricon system authorized operator and get their home before they get yours.
Changing times in the National Hockey League. Going deep, Sunday at 9 on Fox Sports Net.
Last night, all 5 starters for Fresno State played a minimum of 42 minutes. They were supposed to be tired tonight. Hadn't looked like that in the first 20 minutes as we take it back to Dan Robinson and Ted Belwamini, guys.
Well, Kevin, we mentioned that Tulsa had to be happy, Dan, playing a pretty poor first half and being in it. How about from Fresno State standpoint? They probably feared, hey, man, we may have no energy tonight, getting blown out. Instead, they come back from an early 7-0 hole and have the lead at halftime.
Well, they got to be really happy, and really great players step up at the right time. And I thought Alexander was really the catalyst for Fresno State, Ted. He's the guy that all of a sudden, after the 7-0 deficit that Tulsa led, look at Alexander. He just took over the game. Makes a quick jumper, again in transition and scores. So Alexander was the guy for Fresno State. You look at the leading scores. Again, Alexander with 17, and Roberson made some threes. Larry Abney has his 5, and not much for Melvin Ely because he is in foul trouble.
Right, Ely with 3 fouls. Abney did have a ton of rebounds. Meanwhile, Tulsa didn't get much from their 6th man. Only a couple of hoops from David Shelton.
Yeah, and I think Shelton has to look, Ted, to go more around the basket. You look at his 2 scores, and he was able to get these 2, but he relied a little bit too much, I think, on his outside game. So Shelton's a powerhouse around the goal. They got to go to him there.
Key thing, I think, Dan, Brandon Kurtz had 4 points early, got Melvin Ely in foul trouble. They never really went back to him to generate a lot.
And I think here's a guy that Kurtz. He's pretty good around the goal. He didn't finish very well. I think he was like 1 of 8 in the first half. So they need Kurtz to come up big in the second half.
So the WAC championship game at halftime. It's Fresno State on its home court, leading by 4. The second half coming up next.
At McDonald's, we put extra zest into seasoning our biggest, beefiest burger. We go the extra mile with thick sliced tomato and fresh, whole leaf lettuce. We take extra care chopping the fresh onions. We even think big about exactly where to put the ketchup and mayo. Why? Because you have big expectations that can only be satisfied by a Big Extra. Presenting the extraordinarily big taste of the Big Extra. Where? Did somebody say McDonald's?
FogDog.com, your anytime, anywhere sports store. Fog Dog.
I'm free to do what I want any old time.
Sonic Drive-In presents Tot Shot Highlights. Check out the rookies going head-to-head. Here's Piper from downtown. Nothing but the back of the mouth. Sonic Tots are a slam dunk. Or Tater Tots, they're the only game in town. Okay. Oh, what a hit.
There's no reason to panic.
Look at this. Inside fastball. Struck him out. Beautiful.
Membership has privileges.
Excuse me? Who's the only Super Bowl MVP to play for a losing team?
Sports Geniuses, the new game show that tests your sports IQ. Premieres March 27th on Fox Sports Net.
Well, this great Saturday in college basketball, the day before the tournament field announced, ending here in this wonderful atmosphere in Fresno. It began early this morning in a similar atmosphere in Hempstead, New York, when the Hofstra Flying Dutchman
got into the
NCAA tournament.
The Flying Dutchman did it, and I know Ted's happy about that.
I was loving it. Back in my backyard. Well, neither team shot 40%. The three-point shooting almost non-existent. Both teams even on the board. I mean, not much you can tell from those numbers. The turnover number really bugged Tulsa.
Yeah, they did turn the ball over because remember, Tulsa always forces quite a bit more turnovers than they make, and that was not the case in the first half. So I think we're going to have another terrific second half, and Tulsa with the first possession, and Fresno goes back man-to-man.
Harrington. Oh, well, that'll wind up being a great assist, won't it?
I think they're going to give Harrington a miss, but Coley opportunistic, right place at the right time. And that's what Eric Coley can do for you. Great leaper around the goal, and he can finish.
9 points for Coley, and a little flare inside the Avenue miss. Now Melvin Ely is on the floor for Fresno State. He has 3 fouls as we start the second half.
And Fresno going man-to-man, Ted. I thought they might go zone, and he's defending Kurtz. Now they're going to go inside to Cole. See, Coley is a guy that doesn't score much on the outside, was quiet the first half, but is a leaper supreme and a guy that can get it around the goal and take it strong, and he's come out with a couple of quick scores.
Well, Coley's right on his average now. 11 points a game. Roberson, tough shot. Oh, he's got, look at that shooter's roll. And it's 11 for Roberson. Well, Fresno State back up by 2. Trying to beat Tulsa for the 3rd time this year. The first 2 wins for Fresno State both came in the closing seconds.
And Demetrius Porter made a big shot here with about 4 or 5 seconds to go to seal the win. He also made a big one in Tulsa. Wasn't a game winner, but it was a big 3 to give Fresno State their first. Fresno State led 2-0 in that game, and then they won 73-72. That was the next time they led.
Boy, look at those hands. And Coley finishes again, while Courtney Alexander just took his eye off that dribble for 1 split second, and Coley took advantage.
Yeah, and that's with Coley. He's a guy that really relies on stealing the ball, and you have to be alert for him, and you have to set your game plan to know that, and you have to keep the ball away. Don't make that lateral pass and make a mistake, because Coley will get it.
For 3. And high is Ely to take that rebound from Kurtz. Abney cutting, Abney puts it in, and he's fouled.
Well, you love Larry Abney's shot selection. I mean, here's a...
Larry Abney to the line for 1.
Well, those of you just joining us in the Midwest, welcome. Ted Robinson, Dan Belwamini, Kevin Eschenfelder. We're at Selland Arena in Fresno, the WAC Championship. The 3rd meeting of the year between Tulsa, the regular season WAC champions, and Fresno State, who finished 2nd. Fresno State has won the 2 prior meetings, and we're involved in another tight one here. Bulldogs by 3 after a 3-point play by Larry Abney. But Greg Harrington with the drive gets 2 back to Tulsa.
Yeah, you gotta like Greg Harrington. Was the MVP in the Puerto Rico Classic very early in the year, and he's a very gifted all-around performer. Made a very strong move right to the goal there, and that's what Tulsa will do. With Ely with the 3 fouls, let's attack inside every time down. That has to be the mindset of the Golden Hurricane.
Courtney Alexander blocking foul, and I believe they're going to call that on the floor, so it will not be a shooting foul. It's going to be the first foul against Brandon Kurtz. First on Tulsa. Or make that the 2nd foul on Tulsa in the half. Now, Danny, the team here in this tournament, if anybody's played their way perhaps into attention for postseason play, it's got to be Hawaii.
Oh, yeah, Hawaii. They've been just tremendous. They lost a double overtime game last night to Fresno State. Had every opportunity to win it, but you're right. Had a big win against TCU, and Riley Wallace's team really has done a great job. I mean, I think they made the biggest turnaround, Ted. They only had 6 wins. Hawaii was 6-20 a year ago, and turned it around this year at 17 wins. And I think they could have played their way into an NIT bid.
NIT, yep. That's what we're referring to. But watching Hawaii play the 2 games here in this tournament, you have a hard time figuring how they could ever have gone 5-9 in the WAC. Well, there was confusion on that play, and each coach now is getting an explanation. Bobby Jacobs talking to Jerry Tarkanian, and Ron Setcher explaining things to Bill Self. And we're sort of in a fog here ourselves. I'm not exactly sure what this confusion is about, but the ball is going to Fresno State. Alexander against Coley. A lot of dribbling, and finally a shot that doesn't go. Harrington back all the way. Oh, it hangs and drops for Greg Harrington. So Tulsa has the lead back. One thing that Courtney Alexander's not had in this WAC tournament is the 3-point shot.
Yeah, he's not been able to get his stroke going from deep, and he's, as he said, he's very streaky, so he can get it going.
Roberson. It's nice to see Roberson shooting it well. He's been in a slump for a long time. He's got 13 in the game. But Terrence Roberson's made some big shots. He's really kept Fresno State going in this one. Made some big shots early also.
Roberson was a big man last night. He had 6 threes in the game with Hawaii. Harrington got caught and turns it over. 13th turnover for Tulsa. And Abney blocked by Hill out of bounds. It'll be Fresno ball.
Oh, what a great play by Marcus Hill. I mean, Hill's got some, he's got some hops himself. Not easy to get up there and deflect Abney.
That's the second time in this game Marcus Hill has done that to a shooter. Gotten away with it now off the inbounds. Courtney Alexander. His 19th point.
I think if Tulsa's going to win this game, they're going to do it in half court. And I think they have to be patient. And I think they have to wear down Fresno State. You know they're tired after their starters played so many minutes in the first 2 games. And I think Kurtz is the key guy.
Harrington faked the 3, moved inside, rattled out, and another rebound for Larry Abney.
Well, he's building it up, isn't he? Larry had 9 in the first half.
10 total. Roberson again.
Okay, Roberson, it's a tough really matchup for Tulsa. They're going to end up putting a smaller player on Terrence Roberson because they want their big guy to go over and defend Courtney Alexander. So Roberson does a smart thing. Don't settle for the outside shot. Let's get it in closer.
There's a Fresno State foul. They get Ely on that? Boy, there's a bad foul. Melvin Ely out on the perimeter picks up his 4th foul for Fresno State with still better than 15 minutes to play in this championship game.
I'm hungry. What, $1 for a sliver of raw fish?
It's sushi.
Sushi? Where I'm from, we call that stuff bait.
What else can you get for just $1?
Well, I can get a 20-minute phone call for only 99 cents.
Quit kidding around.
No, it's true. Dial 10-10-220. It's just 99 cents for all calls up to 20 minutes.
And just 7 cents a minute after that.
And get this, there's no monthly fee.
10-10-220 really is a great deal.
We know. Hey, you forgot to cook this.
Dial 10-10-220. Mario Perillo here, taking you to Italy with Domino's new Italian Originals Chicken Grill Pizza. Now for only $10.99 a night, travel with me through tender chicken, marinated in Italian spices. Meander through slice after slice of Tuscany with seasoned onions. Marvel at the colors of the peppers, red, yellow, and green. New Domino's Italian Originals Chicken Grill Pizza on a special crust for only $10.99. This promises to be the pie of a lifetime.
Fresno State leading Tulsa by 5 in the WAC championship game. Now, have you ever wondered what your sports IQ is? Well, if you have, be sure to check out Sports Geniuses coming to Fox Sports Net this March, a nightly game show that will put your sports knowledge to the test and basically find out if you're as smart as Dan Belwamity. It premieres in March. Sports Geniuses only on Fox Sports Net. You don't even need to watch.
Now there's 4 fouls. I will watch, by the way, that show. Here's the foul on Melvin Ely. Well, you know, he was reaching around, and you're right, Ted. What he should do is just hold position and establish position. Why give the official any opportunity to make the call?
Just for a big man to get a foul out there is tough. Now, Ely is out of the game. Noel Felix in for Fresno State. And after a little soccer, the ball back to Tulsa, and Shelton lays it in.
Yeah, there was soccer, and Eric Coley was the one right in the middle of it. Good job by Coley again to steal the ball and get that score.
Oh, Roberson for 3. Well, the points for Fresno are coming from 2 people. Alexander and Roberson have combined for 37 of 49 points. In fact, only 4 Bulldogs have scored in the game. Nice backdoor play and a great pass, but Shelton couldn't finish with the left. Roberson. Reverse doesn't go, and Harrington clears it. 6-point lead for Fresno. Kurtz.
Well, see, there's where the advantage. That's where it is for Tulsa. Now you've got Eli out of the game. Now Kurtz should be able to get that little jump hook anytime he wants. So it's really incumbent upon Kurtz to hustle down the floor and get good position. Tulsa's going to switch the defense, goes on.
Kurtz with a rebound. Kurtz's basket there was his first since the opening minute of the game. Made him 2 of 9 from the floor, and Harrington goes right in. Well, every time Fresno State starts to widen it a bit, Dan, Tulsa comes flying right back.
Ted, the most important player on the floor is the man with the ball. And even though you're not guarding the man with the ball, pick him up. I mean, Harrington should not be able to go all the way down the middle and no one addressed him, and he goes right to the goal.
Hawaii did that all night last night to Fresno, didn't they?
They did. And so Fresno's going to try to make that adjustment, and now they're going to recognize that the Golden Hurricanes in the zone. Tough shot, really, against the zone.
Oh, look at Coley, how quick he was.
How about Eric Coley? Look at Coley, shielded with his body. Another steal for Eric Coley. What a second half for
Eric Coley has 8 points already in the second half, 15 total. And he has brought Tulsa back even. And that gets Jerry Tarkanian off of the Fresno State bench and a Bulldog timeout. So now the blue and the gold Tulsa fans here in Selland Arena, and there are some of them, are up and cheering. 49 apiece, and let's go to Kevin Eschenfelder.
All right, thanks, guys. Sticking ahead in the Tulsa huddle last time out. It's been more the talk of the defense for Tulsa. They want find a man, keep your body on a man, because the offensive rebounds are something that Bill Self has stressed that they just absolutely can't give up. Obviously, Fresno State, a very good basketball team. You can't give them second chances. That's something that they've got to stop. Back to you.
Well, Brandon Kurtz leading them with 11 rebounds. Larry Abney, the big rebounder for Fresno State, but really right now it's Eric Coley and Greg Harrington. They've combined to score 14 points for Tulsa in the first 7 minutes of this half.
And what Greg Harrington is doing, he's just taking the ball off the defensive glass and bringing it down the floor quickly and taking it right to the basket. And I like what Coley's doing. Coley, you got to get a body on Coley. Screen him out, keep him off the glass, because he's someone that has the efficiency to tip the ball in and make plays.
So we're heading for that game, like you said. Just get it down to 2 minutes. Let them go, right?
And let them go. And here Tulsa, see, they come out of the zone. They switch the defense. They go man to man. I like what Bill Self did. See, they go in the zone, and all of a sudden the other team takes a timeout, so he switches the defense, goes man to man to give the other club a different look.
Ball stays with Tulsa.
Yeah, I think the officials were a bit confused on that one. They're making the right call. They huddled up.
I tell you what, it's not easy in this building because these fans here,
they want every call.
Every call.
Well,
I mean, they're not very. I mean, you'd think they'd give one call.
No, you don't. And Fresno will play this to see if they're going to zone. They're going to go man to man on the out of bounds. Good shooter.
Marcus Hill alone, and Tulsa with the lead. 9 points for Hill.
A three-point specialist. Terrific perimeter player. You got to get to Hill.
Demetrius Porter, and those are his first points tonight. After winning last night's game with a 3 at the end of the second overtime.
Didn't have a very good game in the first game against UTEP, but had a big game last night against Hawaii. So they need Porter to get going and get some scores.
I tell you, Dan, you got to love watching Larry Abney rebound. He goes after a rebound like it's his.
A good move by Larry to give it up. He's not an outside guy. And he won't be defended. When he steps away, Shelton will not guard.
Abney reminds me a lot of a guy that played a long time in the NBA, Larry Smith.
About 6'7", terrific rebounder. Not a big scorer, but you're worth your weight in gold if you can rebound.
How about that? Noel Felix off the bench. His first points.
I think Noel Felix will be a very good player for the Bulldogs before his career's over. He's just learning. Guys like 6'8", 6'9", good leaper, pretty good shooter, getting better as the year goes on. It's a rarity for Fresno State. They're getting some bench scoring. Last night they got 103 points and they got 0 off the bench.
And that basket's the first ones tonight. There you go. Kurtz, nice move. Tried to jam, then tips one. And Shelton with the ball.
I need to back it out. Have some patience.
Tulsa has a new shot clock. Shelton with a power move. Felix blocks that. Shelton again, scored and a foul. What persistence.
What a play by David Shelton. And I thought Noel Felix made a nice block, but Shelton, the poise and the patience of a veteran guy here. And here's what Shelton, watch him fake and look at him use his body. He jumps in with his body to shield it, and Felix has really no other alternative but to go over the back, and obviously upset with himself, but a great inside move by David Shelton.
Second foul on Felix. There's still 11 minutes to go. And remember that Melvin Ely is sitting with 4 fouls.
Probably will not be back in the game until that 4 or 5 minute mark. Unless Tulsa starts pulling away. But pulling away has not been a phrase that's been used in this series very often. Although the Golden Hurricane had a 13-point lead with 5 minutes to go in Tulsa and could not hold on.
Alexander, nice step in, doesn't get it. And McDaniel couldn't corral the rebound. Alexander did, and he'll go to the line.
Sometimes you forget when you're guarding Alexander what a great rebounder he can be. And after he shoots the ball and misses, you tend to relax because you don't think he's going to go after it. But you see here at Alexander, when he wants to go after the ball, he can get in there, and he's got great hands and size. Picks up the foul there, but a very effective rebounder at both ends.
And actually watching that again, give Noel Felix credit. He really kept that ball alive. Foul on D'Angelo McDaniel of Tulsa. Alexander only his second trip to the line tonight.
Of course, Courtney transferred from the University of Virginia. Courtney's already graduated, got his degree, and he's very happy about that. His family's in to watch him play, and he's been terrific so far in the WAC tournament.
Well, his family hadn't been the only people here to watch him play, have they?
No, everybody. I know there are plenty of pro guys always watching Courtney Alexander. He'll go in the top 3 or 4.
So, it is Eric Coley of Tulsa that has led the Golden Hurricane charge of the second half. A 1-point Fresno State lead.
Think Belize and think special. Think Belize and think graceful. Think Belize and think beauty. Think Belize and think freedom. Think Central America. Think a 2-hour flight. Now you're thinking.
The 2000 Chevy Silverado is the truck, and Mackite Chevrolet is the dealer. Texas Silverado headquarters. With over 300 Silverado pickups on sale. We can do better than that. Now save an additional $1,000. Just $13,988. Silverado, built to be the most dependable, longest-lasting full-size pickup on the road from one of the most dependable, longest-lasting Chevy dealers in Texas. Mackite Chevrolet, where you get that great Mackite feeling.
Peter Waring or John Culberson for Congress. The differences are surprisingly clear. Higher sales taxes, Waring, no. Culberson, yes. Higher gasoline taxes, same story. Waring, no. Culberson, yes. That's right. Culberson voted not once, but twice for higher taxes. Here are the official records, and here are Culberson's votes. John Culberson, a record of supporting higher taxes. Peter Waring supports lower taxes. The clear choice. Peter Waring, Congress.
March Madness is here. We throw down with conference tournament highlights tonight.
Fresno State leading by a point, and here's what Tulsa does. You love the way they run their back doors. They're going to bring a man up here, they're going to make this pass, and they're going to backdoor to the goal. That's the first move. Now, if that doesn't go, you've got Marcus Hill coming all the way from the other side of the floor, and he is going to look for the shot, and you've got a man coming in here, Shelton, screening. You've got so many things going on. Now, let's roll it. You look at Kurtz, the pass to Kurtz. Here's the first move on the back door. Well defended by Demambi. There's the screen. Here comes Marcus Hill coming all the way to the top. They're going to look for him, but I can tell you this, Fresno State did an excellent job of defending about 3 or 4 different moves.
Well, Tulsa in white with the ball, Fresno State by a point. No Tulsa trying to win its 30th game of the year. Tony Hurd, he's been quiet tonight, and Melvin Ely back in there with 4 fouls and just over 10 minutes to play.
See if Tulsa stays man-to-man, which they are. Hurd's going to have a hard time defending Alexander.
Right now, Terrence Roberson out, but very briefly, he's already gone back to the table to return.
See if Fresno now goes to the zone. Looks like they're going to go 2-3 zone. That's just to try to protect Ely inside.
Swanson. Good passing by Tulsa.
Oh, you love the way Coley's playing in the second half. I mean, he is choreographing the whole half for Tulsa.
Fresno State, it's been all Alexander and Roberson. See if they get somebody else involved in the scoring here. Demetrius Porter with just 2 points.
Hurd playing Alexander man-to-man.
This by Demandby and a good rebound. Boy, they blocked Abney out there to Marcus Hill. Hill all the way in. And this one out of bounds. It'll stay Tulsa ball.
Ted, it looked like the last time down that was a box and one by Tulsa. They were playing Courtney Alexander man-to-man, and the other 4 guys were in a zone.
Our craft storyline. Courtney Alexander, 21 points. David Shelton with 11 and 8 for Tulsa off the bench. And the second half shooting, especially for Tulsa, skyrocket.
Of course, they've had easy opportunities because of their defense. They've had a few drops. This is Swanson, and he's a good shooter. Fresno dodged the bullet there. I mean, Swanson's a guy that normally will put that down.
Tulsa's starting to get some second chances, Dan. Not putting it in there. And finally Abney with a rebound.
See if they go box and one again. If Fresno brings the ball back out. They were going box and one, playing Courtney Alexander man-to-man. Well, he ran into Kurtz. All right, see, Dante Swanson now is going to guard Courtney Alexander one-on-one. The other guys are going to try to go in that little triangle, try to stay in the zone.
Do you risk having Roberson go off on you if you play that kind of defense against?
Well, you do. I think you're taking some chance. I'm surprised, quite honestly. I'm a little shocked that throughout the year that Alexander has not seen more of that one-on-one. There's Swanson, so you know what Swanson's going to do. He's going to try to face guard Courtney Alexander and try to keep the ball away. He's dangerous here because they might just lob to him. You know, he's such a great jumper. An out-of-bounds play is not bad if you lob it in the air. They're going to run him off the screen.
Swanson's only 5'10". Alexander is 6'6". So he can elevate over him. Shot doesn't go, but Abney rebounds. Roberson for 3.
Roberson is absolutely going wild tonight. Terrence Roberson's got 21. It's hard to believe that he had about a 6-game stretch where he couldn't make a 3. He was like 1 of 25 from threes in about 7 games. You wouldn't know it by his performance tonight. Now, even though it's a zone, Ted, still go into Kurtz. Look for him in there. Look for him. You got him there. Well, they didn't want to give it to him.
Patience for Tulsa. Shot clock under 10. Now they've got to make something happen. Harrington blocked. That's going to be a violation, a shot clock violation. Fresno State's defense.
Well, Bill Self said before the game, if we can win at Fresno, it'll be one of the great tournament week wins so far.
FogDog.com, your anytime, anywhere sports store. Fog Dog.
Burger King introduces a new twist on the Whopper, the Bacon Cheddar Whopper. Crispy bacon and melted cheddar cheese with the great flame broiled taste of a Whopper.
Gentlemen, we have re-entry in T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7.
The Bacon Cheddar Whopper, available on Earth for a limited time only, so grab one today.
Building projects like these are going on throughout the Western Athletic Conference. as WAC schools continue to enhance and upgrade their athletic facilities. On all 8 campuses, new construction or renovations have either recently been completed, are underway, or are in the planning stages. This clearly demonstrates that the universities of the WAC are committed to their athletic programs as the 21st century begins. At the Western Athletic Conference, we are certainly building for the future.
Well, listen, the new WAC has become the best basketball rivalry, and what a crowd we've seen here between Fresno State and Tulsa.
Right, and here's where Tulsa missed the opportunity. This guy right here has 4 fouls. This man has the ball. All he's got to do is throw it to Shelton. Shelton is the guy who's their best player with his back to the basket. Instead, they pass up on it. He's going to roll away, and they get nothing. And I think that's an opportunity against the zone, even though it is a zone, Ted. When the man is playing behind you with the goal and he's got fouls, why not give it to him? See if he can take it in and foul Ely out of the game.
Melvin Ely now on offense, going against Kurtz, traveling call. So the Fresno State turnover. 12 of them for the Bulldogs, 15 Tulsa turnovers. Biggest lead in the game has been 8 points for Fresno State. Tulsa had an early 7-point lead, 7-0 in fact. Shot again. Right up against Ely, tipped out, knocked free by Coley, out of bounds it'll be. Whose ball? Tulsa ball.
Well, there's bodies all over the floor. I know the winner of the WAC is not an automatic bid to the NCAA Tournament, but you'd never know it the way they're playing. And both these clubs are in. I mean, Bill Self and Jerry Tarkanian have to be proud of their basketball team. And this is college basketball at its best. They're going after it.
And not to take anything away from Tulsa, but for Fresno State to play this hard tonight after a double overtime last night is astounding. Turnover, race for the ball. Coley tipped it away. 1 on 4. 1 on 5, and Alexander draws a foul.
1 on 5, and you know he was going to turn and look to shoot it because he knows he has trailers coming down the floor that can tip it in, Ted.
Well, that tells me one of 2 things. Either the other Fresno State guys are tired, or they figured he ain't going to pass me the ball anyway. He's going to do something with it. Because they didn't run.
No, they didn't run, and they thought Alexander would finish. But watch the number of players that all of a sudden surround court. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's the foul. So out of bounds it will go. Good steal again. Marcus Hill just stepped in the way.
Foul advantage in the half right now to Fresno State. They have only 2 team fouls. Tulsa has 5. Kurtz. Easy.
Easy when they get it to him. Brandon Kurtz, only 1 of 8 the first half, but he's answered the bell in the second half. That little jump hook's very effective.
So it's a tie game. 6:40 to play. Ran over the back. Kurtz called for the foul. So now Tulsa is at 6, and every foul from now on Fresno State to the line.
Now here's Brandon Kurtz, who's trying to defend Melvin Ely. Melvin Ely has really developed into quite an offensive threat. I mean, he is a guy that leads the WAC in field goal percentage, but he's also somebody that has scored big numbers, and he can make plays.
So a 30-second timeout for Fresno State, tied up 6:35 to play.
We're crossing every time.
Again,
Give me the board. Hey, on the out of bounds now, let's pay attention. On the out of bounds, I want to do what we did the other night. Larry's first, Melvin second, Courtney's third, and Terrence is getting open. Larry, you go this way. Melvin, you come this way. Courtney, you look for something in here, and Terrence will get open here.
That was for those of you diagramming plays at home. That was a nice chance to listen in a little bit.
Yeah, it was great to listen in to find out what Fresno State's attempting to do and what they're going to do. And it looks like they're going to line up in some kind of a straight line on the out of bounds. First player is going to go in. Second player goes the opposite way, and they're going to look for Alexander in deep and see if they can. Or they had him. They had him down low, and they didn't wait.
Harassing defense. Tony Hurd against Demetrius Porter. Roberson stumbles. I don't know how he got rid of that ball without being called for traveling. And missed the 3, but Alexander skies for another rebound. And end the two.
What an unbelievable individual effort for Courtney Alexander. He's got 24 in the game, and he is calling for the crowd to stand up.
My correction, that was a three. His first three of the game.
I don't know what was more impressive, Ted, the rebound or the shot.
24 for Alexander. He also has 8 rebounds.
And now the zone again. 2-3 zone. And Hill's the guy you got to rotate to. I mean, he's money outside. Marcus, I can drill the three, Hill. And he's got a beautiful stroke. And if you're going to zone, get over to him.
A 34% shooter on the year, but he's hit a couple of big threes in the second half.
Still man-to-man. Now Tulsa did go boxing one. They've gone a little bit of zone, but now they're back man. And they get a body foul here on Kurtz.
Well, now things start to get interesting because Ely has drawn a third foul against Kurtz with 5:26 to play. Tomorrow night, Going Deep with Chris Myers here on Fox Sports Net investigates the changing color of the National Hockey League. More and more minorities making their mark on the ice. Going Deep, 9 p.m. tomorrow on Fox Sports Net.
The other thing, Ted, that Fresno State's been able to accomplish in this tournament, they've gone to the foul line and ignored it a number of times. As the year's gone on, Ely, because he's such a great offensive player now, they're giving him the ball and he's drawing fouls. And really in the 2 wins in the tournament, the Dogs have done a great job getting to the foul line and converting. I mean, they're shooting around 75% as a team from the line in this tournament and shooting a significant number of free throws. So you know they're getting the ball down deep most of the time.
Tonight they're on the first half of that. They've only been there 10 times, but they've made 9. Tulsa's been to the line 15 times. They've also made 9. Kurtz pretty moved. And let's see, I thought he might have stepped out, but instead he drew a foul.
Well, I like what they're doing now. I mean, they are now making a concerted effort to look at Kurtz and see if he can punish Fresno State around the basket. So good half-court play by the Golden Hurricane, and they're playing now with real poise and dedication, so they're making the right play.
And you know something about Tark? There's nothing else he'd rather be doing. He looks like he's suffering over there, and there's nowhere else he'd rather be.
Well, and you know, one place he'd rather be is the NCAA Tournament, and he hasn't been there in what? Of course, he was out of coaching for 4 years, but got to go back to 91. That UNLV team that went 35-1 and lost to Duke. And Jerry has not been back to the tournament since those days, so he's looking forward to getting back this year.
That's hard to believe. When I saw that today, you think it's been 9 years since Tarkanian has been involved in an NCAA tournament.
Well, it's his 5th year here at Fresno, and they've been in the NIT, but have not been to the NCAA, but they're going to make it this year.
So Brandon Kurtz now has 10, and we are dead even as we approach 5 minutes to play.
Well, I said earlier, fast forward till about 2 minutes. The score was going to be tied.
Good break there for Fresno, right through the hands of Alexander, but saved by Ely, and then he whips a bullet pass that's tipped by Tulsa on the way out. Well, these teams played twice during the WAC season. Fresno State won them both by 1 point and by 2 points.
You know the big difference between these two teams? Fresno State has a go-to player. They've got a guy that, Courtney Alexander, that can make big plays and you can isolate him. Tulsa is more of a team-type game, and they try to open up some players, but they don't have one guy that's going to create and make a big shot late in the game. That's not to say they're not a super team, but they don't have that one guy that can make a big play, and Fresno State does.
Last possession of the game, Tulsa needs a shot to win. You're not sure who they'd go to.
Well, they've gone to Harrington a couple of times, and he's a very good player, but he's not a young man that's going to create his own play, but he's still very effective.
Well, right now, Fresno State can shoot and continue to make their free throws. They will have a big edge here. It's 8 fouls now against Tulsa. Second on Tony Hurd. Only 3 fouls against Fresno State.
And I think Fresno State has to utilize that, Ted. They've got to use some fouls judiciously, get out on them, and don't foul in the act of shooting. But Fresno State's got 3 fouls to take. Only the 3rd point of the game for Demetrius Porter. But he has a flair for the sensational. I mean, he makes some big shots late in the game.
A little conversation there as the officials talk to Abney and Shelton. That last possession for Fresno State, Shelton was getting awfully physical down low with Ely. And he's talking to Abney. Order renders it all irrelevant for the moment. Makes them both. 2-point Bulldog lead.
And Fresno State back in their zone again. Very important to extend on Hill. That's the mindset for Fresno State. I don't think they're going to guard Coley very tight. They're going to give Coley the outside shot, but they got to get to this guy right here, Marcus Hill.
Shelton with the rebound. Boy, big time move. He didn't finish though. Loose ball, out of bounds, not out of bounds, but saved by Ely.
Eli's done a great job of holding position inside Ted, not reaching and not trying to commit a foul. Shelton had an easy one. You know, if Eli's guarding you, he's not going to contest it. You can almost go up to the rim and drop it.
Long one by Alexander.
Wow,
no problem.
How do you like it? I mean, is he kidding me with that shot? That's the old, I'm not going to take a dribble, I'm just going to elevate right on you.
Timeout Tulsa. 27 for Courtney Alexander, the leading scorer in America. And Fresno State now with a 5-point lead. And between these two teams this year, 5 points seems like 50.
This is the biggest lead I can remember in this game. And you take a look at Courtney Alexander. See if we can hear Coach Tarkanian.
Tell you what, the crowd's not going to let us hear him. Well, Courtney Alexander with 27 points, consecutive threes to help Fresno State get the lead, and he is our 10-10-220 player of the game. And those 8 rebounds are an awfully important part of this game as well.
Well, now Courtney Alexander has put on a show, and you know what you have to love about him? He can elevate without using the dribble. I mean, he could stand there, just go straight up and make big plays. So Courtney Alexander, definitely a guy coming down the stretch. You'd like him with the ball if you're a Fresno State fan.
Well, something else that you learn when you watch this team play. Now, they missed Alexander. He didn't play in 6 games.
I think it was
7 games.
Yeah, and they were 3 and 4 in those games. So they lost 4 of their losses are without Alexander.
Right, 4 of their 9 losses. And you can understand why. Now Tulsa down 5.
Yeah, and they need a productive trip here. This is one of those ones coming out of the timeout that you'd like to score, and I think Shelton is their guy if they can find it.
Coley gave it up. Shelton missing. Look at Coley again. And finally the tip dances and drops.
Oh, that is attacking the rim. I mean, they've got some glass eaters up there. Coley. And they got all kinds of guys that are going up there. Shelton trying to tip it in.
17 points for Eric Coley tonight.
Big second half. How about that one?
No, and now Tulsa, can they get the rebound? Yes, they will, and a foul as well on Fresno. With the 4th team foul, however. So this will simply be possession.
Larry
Abney picks up his 2nd personal. So we have a timeout at 2:48 to play in Fresno for the WAC championship. Everything we thought it would be. Fresno State by 3.
Man, I'm hungry. What, a buck for a sliver of raw fish?
It's sushi.
Sushi? Where I'm from, we call that stuff bait.
What else can you get for just $1?
Well, I can get a 20-minute phone call for only 99 cents.
Quit kidding around.
No, it's true. Dial 10-10-220. It's just 99 cents for all calls up to 20 minutes.
And just 7 cents a minute after that.
And get this, there's no monthly fee.
10-10-220 really is a great deal.
We know. Hey, you forgot to cook this.
Dial 10-10-220.
People ask me how they can learn to hit perfect shots. I tell them, it all starts when you feel your first one.
Ben Hogan Apex Plus irons, perimeter weighted for solid shots, and like Justin's Apex irons, forged for soft feel. Whatever your handicap, experience the sound and feel of hitting a perfect shot. Shot after shot.
When you feel your first perfect shot, you're on your way to being a better golfer.
Introducing Apex Plus irons from Ben Hogan, a feel for your game.
Hakkinen, Schumacher, McLaren, Ferrari.
Formula One 2000 season premiere. the Australian Grand Prix, Sunday at 10 a.m. on Fox Sports Net.
I'm Jim Rome. Next week on The Last Word, we are all over March Madness. Head coach Jim Calhoun of defending national champ UConn, Jim O'Brien, 5th-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes, and Gene Cady of number 21 Purdue. The Last Word weeknights at 6:30 and 11:30 on Fox Sports Net.
Right after the WAC championship game here on Fox Sports Net, it'll be Fox Sports News. And after what has been reported by the New York Post today as a halftime fight last night, Eric Barkley did play for St. John's in the Big East championship game. We'll learn more on that. Also, the Fox scope will be right on those teams who are praying tomorrow they get the call from the NCAA Tournament. And, of course, all of the madness on this unbelievable Saturday in college basketball. Fox Sports News right after the game. No better way to end this mad Saturday than right here in Selland Arena in Fresno. 10,000 strong, almost all of them wearing red. Cheering on the Fresno State Bulldogs, who have a 3-point lead over Tulsa.
Yeah, and that's a huge lead in this series because both games, one decided by 1 point, the other one by 2. And Fresno State had a 5-point. Now, you didn't think a 5-point lead was going to hold up. And Tulsa now with an opportunity to close it. Man-to-man now as Fresno State switches back out of their zone, goes man. Eli still with the 4 fouls.
Marcus Hill. Terrence Roberson not giving him much breathing room. Now it's Shelton driving. Offensive foul on Shelton.
Ted, that's the other thing that Eli has developed. He's a terrific shot blocker, but when he gets in foul trouble, he goes for the charge all the time. He gets position, and he does a good job. Shelton that time a bit out of control. I don't think was expecting Eli to get over there, but I thought a good call by the official. Eli was in front.
Third personal foul on Shelton. So Fresno State possession and a 3-point lead.
And it's Courtney Alexander time in the last 3 minutes for the Bulldogs. It is incumbent for him to at least touch the ball, and they'll isolate him.
Well, it's been 2 men who've done the scoring for Fresno State. Knocked out by Coley. Great defense and a turnover.
You don't see that happen very often. What a play by Eric Coley. He is playing as good a second half as I've seen anybody play this year. I mean, with his defense, his scoring. Look at that. Not easy to get the hand in the way, deflect the ball, knock it off of Alexander, give his team a possession.
3 down low. Coley with 2 more. 19 for Coley. His career high of points in the game is 22, which was also against Fresno State. So Bulldogs seen to do that before.
Wasn't that well executed? Come on the dribble screen for Coley, bring him from one side of the floor to the other and post him up, and he could finish.
Roberson draws the foul, just what he wanted to do. Well, if Tulsa knows it's going to be one of 2 people, it's either going to be Alexander or Roberson. If Fresno State has the ball, it's going to shoot.
And the 9th team foul on the Golden Hurricane, and of course Roberson, one of the 10th team fouls. So they flipped it over. I thought it was 9, but it went to 10. Double bonus, and Roberson 4th or 5th in the nation in free throw shooting.
Everything. These last minute and 39 seconds, every Tulsa foul, Fresno State shoots 2. 21 points for Roberson. 85% foul shooting.
You didn't think that was possible, did you, Ted? In this modern day of college basketball. Now, one guy,
I mean, it's great to see.
Yeah, it is great to see. You bet it is. Of course, Terrence Roberson. Another guy that's graduated.
Well, it's a 3-point game. Fresno State has only committed 14 fouls. Well, Tulsa, it may not happen here, but if they were to get ahead, Fresno State would not be able to get them to the line. Kurtz gets the 2 they need.
Tulsa answering the bell.
And a timeout, Tulsa.
Coley and Kurtz have had a very nice second half. And Kurtz, who was only 1 of 8 the first half, has really developed his game. See if we can listen in to Bill Self.
Don't let him catch it. Listen to me. Everybody plays through strong help, okay? During the double bonus, we got to play defense without fouling. Ball shot, everybody's got to rebound. As soon as we secure, run speed on a miss, push it down hard in transition.
Like Jared, I want to run 54 with you on the outside, Courtney on the inside. Get Courtney a big head. Courtney comes in, you come. Get Courtney if he's open to go one-on-one.
One thing you know, Tark's been around a long time. He's still coaching. Well, earlier today here at Selland Arena in Fresno, the WAC Women's Championship was contested, and it was the Rice Lady Owls that jumped out on SMU to a 26-6 lead. SMU had a great rally, got it down to within 4 in the second half, but Rice prevailed. The Rice Lady Owls win the WAC Women's Championship. Marla Brumfield, 27 points for Rice, was the tournament MVP. So now Fresno State with the ball and a 1-point lead. Knocked away, knocked out, off Alexander. Tulsa possession. That was Marcus Hill, not Eric Coley. It was Hill that defended Courtney Alexander. So now Tulsa, possession for the lead.
And Fresno State with fouls to take. You saw that reset graphic, only 4 team fouls on Fresno. Good move to get it inside. And that's a good block and not to commit the foul by Ely reaching over.
So Tulsa keeps it 21 on the shot clock.
Fresno will play man-to-man, so very important now for Tulsa to execute, set your screens, trying to feature Coley coming off the screen.
Tony Hurd, his first field goal of the game.
Wasn't that a nice pass by Coley? Well executed on the out of bounds. The guy taking it out many times is the most dangerous, and that was Hurd.
Well, Fresno's been in this position a lot. Alexander stripped, no foul. Coley ahead for Hill, but Coley is fouled. And now it's Fresno State's turn to claim that Alexander was molested there by Eric Coley.
Are they going to get that intentional? I don't know if I saw the intentional sign. I don't think so. Only the 15th foul. Could have been deemed intentional, but the referees say that Roberson was playing the ball. Here's the out of bounds. Wasn't that a great out of bounds? The guy taking it out comes all the way behind the screen and knocks it down. And then right back to they get the steal.
Well, Dan, here's where Fresno State's in big trouble. As we mentioned, Tulsa has a front. Fresno State can't get him to the foul line.
I think they got to make a foul right now.
Absolutely. As a turnover, Tony Hurd turned the ball over.
Dodged the bullet.
Boy, did they ever. They gambled and they won.
Yes, they did. Didn't go after the foul. Instead, they tried to play defense, and they get the turnover. And now with the shot clock off, I think you still, if you're Fresno State in this situation, you're behind by a point. You're certainly not going to run it down.
Wow. Well, 71-70 Tulsa, 23.2 to go. Last night, in a 100-all game, facing a third overtime, Demetrius Porter drains the 3 to give Fresno State the win and the berth in this championship game.
You got to remember, too, Demetrius has had the flair for the dramatic. He's a guy that makes big shots at the end of the game, but I'm sure this is going to go to Alexander.
There's no shot clock, so Fresno State can take it down for the win.
I don't think they take it down. You're behind by 1. You're at home. You've got fouls to take. I think you look for something quick in case you miss. Make the foul. You've got to give yourself another opportunity. So I think the mindset of the Bulldogs right now is to get it to Alexander, try to clear out, and see if he can create a quick shot. If he does not score, they got to make a quick foul, and then they got to foul again because they only have 5 team fouls. So they need to move here.
The conference championship on the line here. Fresno State trying for its 3rd win over Tulsa this year. Roberson for 3.
Boy, did they make big shots late. Are they going to go timeout? No timeout. They're going to keep it all the way down.
Marcus Hill in. And a foul called. A blocking foul with 5.4 to play. Terrence Roberson with a 3, giving him 26. But Marcus Hill back. The big drive.
Now, well executed. And of course, Roberson, who's had a big night, makes a 3-point goal, and Tulsa electing to come right down the floor in transition, not call the timeout, not give the defense a chance to get set, takes it all the way to the basket, and Marcus Hill will go to the foul line.
Now Marcus Hill will shoot 2. He is a 62% foul shooter.
And Ted, if he misses the first, you've got to miss the second. He cannot, if he misses the first shot, you've got to think miss the second one to try to tip it in. Well, now you got to think miss. I think if you're Tulsa. I think Bill Self, if he's got a timeout, No, which he doesn't. See, I think he's saying miss it. Did he go make? I would miss it.
Told him to make it.
See, I'd go miss.
And he did. Timeout Tulsa. Bill Self, that was interesting, Danny, because he told Marcus Hill to make that free throw. If it was only that easy.
well, he thinks he's got 5. And I'm sure Bill Self knows. He knows his team. So he's thinking we got to try to steal the inbound or go for a quick steal.
It'll be a immediate foul.
Get you out, okay? Marcus, you're our center fielder here. All right? No, Aaron, give me our center fielder. All right? I want a matchup, and we're face guarding. We're not guarding the guy out of bounds. Face guarding, and we're switching off crosses and screen. You guys have that? If they set the screen right there, get on the inside. We're switching crosses and screens. If they get the ball in bounds, foul immediately, but go for the steal, okay? No matter what, foul immediately, they get the ball in bounds. All right? Make somebody make a play right here. Let's go. Stop it.
Well, a great scene. As you see the game reset, these teams have played 2 prior games. Fresno State wins by 1 and by 2, and they lead by 1 here. And a wonderful job tonight by our producer, Dennis Kirkpatrick, director Tom Adza, and our crew capturing the great pictures here in Selland Arena. The executive producers of college basketball on Fox Sports Net are Arthur Smith and Bill Borson. The coordinating producer of college basketball is Roy Hamilton. Roberson to inbound.
All right, you got to make a quick foul.
And they get Courtney Alexander, 4.1 on the clock. And another guy who's pretty much money at the line.
Well, he made the big free throws last night in regulation with 5 seconds to go and down 2 against Hawaii. He misses one of those and the game's over. And Courtney calmly went to the foul line and made both free throws to extend the game. Now it's a double bonus situation. And Fresno State still with the 16 fouls. So the next foul they commit, Tulsa will be shooting.
Courtney Alexander, 3 out of 3 at the line tonight, 77% on the year.
All right, now how about this strategy? Now Bill Self's going to call a timeout. If Courtney makes this one and Fresno State goes up 3, why not play the dribbler, contain him when he gets near the midcourt area? You take a foul. Because they're shooting a 1-on-1. Don't give a chance to make a 3 and put it in overtime. If Alexander can make it.
I agree, and you never see that happen. Fresno bench watching Alexander's foul shot. Now, Danny, there's two foul shooting percentages you ought to have for most great players. There's the overall foul shooting percentage and the last 2 minutes.
You bet. Give me those guys that'll make them in the last 2 minutes.
I'll never forget Jason Kidd in college. Everybody questioned Jason Kidd was like a 70% foul shooter, but in the last 2 minutes of the game, automatic.
Automatic, made every one. You look at the game reset, and of course Tulsa now out of timeouts, but they do have the possession arrow in them, and they're in the double bonus. Fresno State in the double bonus. 16 fouls for the Dogs. So if they commit a foul, it'll be a 1-on-1 situation. The ideal thing is you would like, if this goes in, play defense until they get near the midcourt, go for the ball, let them waste a couple of 2-3 seconds, and then try to foul them and get them in a 1-on-1 situation.
Well, Tulsa's best three-point shooter on the stat sheet was Harrington at 44%, and he's back in the game. He's not played much down the stretch.
Now Marcus Hill, another guy though that can make a 3 on you, you have to get to him. And if you're Fresno State and he makes this and you elect not to foul, you got to be thinking we have to defend outside the line. Let them get a 2, but deny them anything on the perimeter.
Alexander. So it's a 3-point lead, and Tulsa has one desperate shot. Only to win back.
Well, they're going to play it man-to-man. Let's see if they are going to go deep. All right, the game's over now. Game's over. Well, they did it again. It's called a hat trick. Fresno State defeats Tulsa 3 times. How do you like it, Fresno?
A mad scene here at Selland Arena. Fresno State wins the WAC championship. They beat Tulsa 3 times this year by a total of 6 points.
Another great college game. And Bill Self and his Tulsa Golden Hurricane, I think, will go into the tournament and play well. But Fresno's got it going. They're on a roll, Ted, and they played exceptionally well.
Fresno State wins its 8th game.